Rogelio, and Raphael. Maybe they go through time as cops. Maybe it's like Van Damme's Time Cop. But
Blake Lively really thought she had everything under control. And honestly, that's what makes this whole situation so wild. When the drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni first started exploding online, most people in Hollywood assumed Justin's career was finished. Blake had the stronger public image, massive industry connections, media support, and the kind of celebrity status that usually protects people from serious backlash. Justin, on the other hand, didn't seem nearly as powerful in the public eye, so everybody expected Blake to walk away untouched, while Justin took all the damage. But as more details started coming out, the narrative completely shifted, and suddenly Blake was the one people were questioning. Apparently, even people close to her were warning that continuing the lawsuit was becoming a disaster behind the scenes, because every new leak or receipt somehow made the situation look worse for her, instead of Justin. One of the biggest turning points came when those alleged text messages about the dailies surfaced. For people who don't know, dailies are raw behind-the-scenes film footage shot during production before anything gets edited. It's basically the unfiltered version of what happens on set, cameras rolling before action. After cut, conversations between actors, body language, behavior, all of it. In Hollywood legal battles, that kind of footage can become extremely important because it shows events without editing or PR spin. So when reports claimed Blake had allegedly asked Sony to destroy some of the dailies, people immediately started asking questions. According to the messages, this wasn't just some casual cleanup request either. One executive allegedly said, "Blake is asking us to destroy some of the dailies." And there were purportedly discussions about contacting vendors to remove copies as well. That's the moment a lot of people online stopped and thought, wait, why would someone want raw footage erased that badly? What made it even more suspicious to some observers was that insiders allegedly claimed that they had never seen a major actor request the destruction of dailies, unless the footage involved something highly sensitive, like intimate scenes or nudity. But allegedly, there was nothing like that involved with the film. So naturally, speculation exploded about why the footage mattered so much. The timing also raised eyebrows because around the same period, Blake's team had reportedly gained access to private messages connected to Justin Baldoni's PR side. That's when people started building theories that Blake allegedly realized a major legal battle was coming and wanted damaging material removed before everything became public. The problem, according to this narrative, was that Justin supposedly kept backup copies. Blake allegedly believed the footage had been permanently deleted, which may have made her feel safer making serious accusations. Later on, because she thought nobody would ever be able to verify exactly what happened on set. But once Justin's legal team started releasing footage and audio publicly, the internet reaction shifted fast. The dance scene became the biggest example people focused on. Blake reportedly described Justin's behavior during filming in an extremely negative way, but then raw footage and audio from the actual scene were released, allowing people to watch the interaction themselves instead of relying on headlines or summaries. Viewers could hear conversations directly and judge the situation with their own eyes. Reports even claimed Justin had audio recordings from filming through a hidden microphone setup, preserving conversations connected to the scene. That's why so many people online started saying Blake may have accidentally trapped herself. Because according to that interpretation, she allegedly only felt confident making certain claims because she believed key evidence no longer existed. Once receipts started appearing publicly, a lot of viewers began questioning everything surrounding the case. From there, the situation reportedly spiraled far beyond a normal movie dispute and started sounding more like a Hollywood thriller. Then came the phone drama, involving a PR woman named Jennifer Abel, who reportedly worked closely with Justin Baldoni's side. Her phone allegedly contained years of sensitive information, including private conversations, strategy discussions, and internal work messages. After leaving the company, the phone was reportedly taken back by the company owner under the explanation that they needed to handle technical issues connected to the number, which only added another layer of mystery and speculation to an already chaotic situation. But according to the claims, Blake's side somehow already knew what was on that phone before officially gaining access to it. And that's where people really started getting suspicious. Allegedly, Blake's publicist contacted Justin Baldoni's crisis PR team almost immediately, while already referencing messages connected to the phone. And the timing instantly made people online stop and ask, wait, how did they already know what was in those conversations? That's when accusations started spreading that private messages may have been circulating behind the scenes long before proper legal procedures were officially involved. Once internet sleuths and legal commentators began digging through the filings connected to the situation, things only got messier. According to the allegations, Blake Lively's team allegedly didn't want those messages. quietly sitting in the background where questions could eventually arise about how they were obtained. Instead, critics claimed there was an effort to make everything appear legally legitimate before the information became public. And honestly, this is the point where the story started sounding less like normal celebrity drama and more like the kind of corporate scandal people expect to see in a Netflix documentary. Allegedly, a company called Vanzin Incorporated suddenly appeared in the middle of everything. And that's the detail that really caught people's attention online. Legal commentators immediately started asking why Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds would allegedly need some random corporation with no obvious connection to the movie itself. According to the claims floating around online, the company appeared to exist mostly on paper, with no major public operations and no clear link to it. Hence with us, that alone raised eyebrows. But then things escalated even further when the company allegedly filed a quiet John Doe lawsuit. That's the moment people really started paying attention, because a John Doe lawsuit allows legal action to begin without publicly identifying the target immediately. On the surface, the filing reportedly looked unrelated to the movie drama entirely, but according to the allegations, subpoenas quickly followed asking for access to Jennifer Abel's phone records, messages, and communications. That's why critics online started accusing Blake's side of allegedly trying to launder evidence through the legal system. The theory being pushed was that if private texts suddenly appeared publicly without any formal legal process attached to them, people would immediately start questioning how the messages were obtained in the first place. But if those same materials came through subpoenas connected to a lawsuit, then everything could potentially appear cleaner and more official on paper. But if those messages were obtained through subpoenas connected to an active lawsuit, then suddenly everything could appear official and legally justified on paper. And honestly, once that theory started spreading online, the public mood around Blake Lively shifted fast. People were no longer just debating whether she had been difficult behind the scenes on a movie set. Now critics were questioning whether serious ethical boundaries had allegedly been crossed in order to gain an advantage against Justin Baldoni. According to the allegations floating around online, the subpoenas reportedly demanded communications related to harassment and retaliation before those accusations had even fully entered the public legal conversation. That detail immediately made internet commentators suspicious because many started arguing it looked like Blake's side allegedly already knew exactly what information they were searching for before the legal structure around the claims had officially taken shape. Then came the part that really fueled online speculation. Critics claimed after the subpoenas allegedly secured the information being sought, the lawsuit itself quietly disappeared. It didn't become some giant public courtroom battle. Instead, according to the narrative spreading online, it simply faded away. Not long after that, private messages reportedly started appearing in media coverage tied to the controversy, and gossip channels absolutely exploded. Suddenly, people believed there had been a massive behind-the-scenes effort to shape the public narrative against Justin before most people even understood what was happening. And while all of that legal chaos was unfolding, another huge celebrity name got pulled into the drama: Taylor Swift. That's when the internet completely lost control of the story because filings connected to Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, allegedly included claims from someone close to Taylor suggesting Blake's team pressured Taylor into publicly supporting Blake during the controversy. According to the allegations, it supposedly went far beyond a simple request between friends. Critics claimed Blake allegedly threatened to release years of private messages between herself and Taylor if Taylor refused to publicly back her up. The second that accusation hit social media, the entire conversation changed again. It was no longer just Blake versus Justin. Now people were questioning Blake's friendships, her motives, and even the authenticity of her public relationships. With other celebrities, social media users immediately began dissecting every interaction between Blake and Taylor from the past year, analyzing interviews, appearances, photos, and online activity trying to figure out whether their friendship had secretly collapsed behind the scenes. Rumors quickly spread that Taylor had allegedly distanced herself privately from Blake. Altogether, Blake's legal team strongly denied those claims and reportedly pushed aggressively to have related filings removed from public access. Eventually, certain documents were removed from the court record after the judge expressed concerns that the filings were fueling unnecessary celebrity spectacle and media chaos. But online critics focused heavily on one distinction: the judge did not publicly declare the allegations false. The documents were removed over concerns about publicity and courtroom conduct, not because the claims themselves had been fully disproven in public. That detail became a huge talking point online because people immediately started asking why anyone would allegedly attach their professional reputation to accusations. That's serious if there was absolutely nothing behind them? From there, the internet's perception of Blake seemed to spiral further. Old interviews resurfaced. Past stories from movie sets got dragged back into public discussion. TikTok users began reposting awkward clips and analyzing old co-star interactions, frame by frame. It became one of those celebrity moments where once public opinion starts shifting, people suddenly reinterpret everything from the past through a completely different lens. But one of the biggest image disasters purportedly centered around the famous lists connected to the lawsuit. According to the legal drama, Blake originally submitted a 17-point list of protections and conditions related to returning to production after the Hollywood strikes. At the time, that list allegedly became part of the official timeline surrounding the dispute. But later, according to Justin Baldoni's side, a much larger 30-point version suddenly appeared, containing even more serious accusations and additional details. That's where discussions about metadata and document timelines became a major issue online. Critics claimed there were inconsistencies surrounding when parts of the expanded document were actually created because the oldest available digital versions allegedly appeared long after the meetings where Blake suggested the concerns had originally existed. Once words like metadata, timeline discrepancies, and document creation dates entered the conversation, social media treated the case like a real-time courtroom thriller. People